Hello, welcome to my live stream. I'm gonna play some Empire at War. Gonna do a sound check. Whenever I search up my name, I get all of the General Grievous memes. So it's hard to find my channel whenever I do a search up. Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I sound nasally. I'm still getting over some sickness. Okay. All right, let's play. I forgot to put share mode on. Present. Share screen. I guess sharing the entire screen is what? All right. Let's get started. I need to get me some new headphones. All right. I think I'm ready. All right. It's been a little bit. What was I on? I think I was on here. Ah, there we go. All right. Get used to this. Excuse me. All right, what are we going to do? Avoid that planet because there's a bunch of pirates that we're kind of outgunned at, but we've got them in a corner, so that's good. Oh, here. All right, what do we have here? Ooh, this is gonna be interesting. This is where the fun begins. All right. What are you weak against? Get out of there, man. Perfect. You take it out on them. Come on, get out of there. Heal up, heal up, heal up. Yes. Very nice. All right, let's send some reinforcements over there. All right. Let's take over some ground. That's what we really need. Nice. All right, this is where the fun begins. Where are you at, buddy? Oh, that was fast. Oh, what? Whoa. Okay. What the heck? Okay, great. Well, we did this before, so let's do it again. Whoa, 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 what? I did not know you could do this. There you go, buddy. Nice. Well, that's good to know. All right. We might have to come back for you. Let's begin. All right. Most important, anti-vehicle. All right, you guys are holding your own pretty well, though we do have a lot of ATSTs. All right, we're gonna do infiltrate. Here's what we're gonna do. Where is he at? There he is. Field commander.
Hello?
Hey, I'm streaming. What's up? Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, what was that? What? Here. Sorry, I just saw your message. Shoot, I forgot to save, didn't I? Hello.
Oh, hey man, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Not bad. I was watching you play for a few minutes.
Thanks. Or hopefully I did good.
Honestly, I've never played Empire at War, so I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I exited out without saving.
Oh man, that sucks.
I don't know how to switch out of full screen mode. And
Is
I
it
just
like
have
Alt Tab or something like that?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Let's see if it's saved. How have you been?
not bad. I was watching a bit of that stream you guys did with Brennan the other night, where you're
Oh yeah.
ranking the covers.
Oh shoot, it didn't save.
Man, I'm
It's
sorry
okay.
if I
I
if I
was
distracted you. I
No, you're
apologize.
good. I wasn't doing good anyway. I prefer to play as the Imperials, and I'm a lot better at that. Um, just because I mean they get the cooler stuff.
Oh, for sure. I used to play the only Star Wars real-time strategy game that I really played was Star Wars Rebellion. And I used to play as the Imperials all the time because, like, who doesn't want a fleet of Star Destroyers?
Right. Yeah.
So
Is that an I is that a like a tabletop as well?
I think they've since made it into a board game, but that's a more recent development. Back in the day, it was literally just a computer game, and you could run it off of the crummiest computer because it didn't really require much in terms of graphics or anything like that.
Hmm. I think I have a few Star Wars games on Steam. Let's
You
see.
could probably buy that one for super cheap, like $2.
Let me see if it's on here because it sounds fun. And um, a friend of mine has it like the tabletop, and he's wanting to get me into it. It's called Rebellion.
Yeah,
Star Wars Rebellion.
it's very simple. It's not like Empire at War where you
Oh,
actually have people on the ground and troops on the ground and stuff like that. But you can create fleets and you have to do resource management, and you have like units that you can send on missions, right? And some of them become force sensitive, and you can get them trained. It's funny because like Luke, if you're playing for the Rebellion, Luke like leaves the game to go train with Yoda and then comes back like later on because it counts time like any type of like civilization or whatever, right? It counts time that passes. So
that's pretty
that
neat.
yeah, I thought that was a kind of a cool mechanic. Although frustrating that you don't have Luke to go on missions for you, but when he comes back, he's much stronger. So it
Yeah,
kind of makes sense. Yeah,
it kind of makes me think of like I guess you're the actual rebellion, because Luke will go off and do something in the books and in the movies, um, but then
that's
he'll
right.
come back stronger.
That's right. And they can't. It's funny because he's in the military, but and no one ever really talks about it. But he can kind of just step away from his post and go do weird Jedi stuff.
which
And
is which is a bit odd.
yeah, and they let him do it because of the value that he brings. It's like how you have this valuable employee who can get away with so much because of all the business that they generate. That's Luke in the Rebellion.
Yeah, they've got this bundle on Steam, and it's the classic collection, the Star Wars classic collection. It
Yeah,
has Rebellion on it, and then it has like the X-wing games.
yeah, those games are a bit rough.
Are they?
I mean, I just don't think that they've kind of withstood the test of time when you stack them up against something like Squadrons, for instance, which came out a year or two ago.
Yeah. It does have Rebel Assault. I've seen that one has live action cutscenes.
Rebel Assault does.
I think it's the second one.
Huh? Yeah, I think I
And
knew about that actually.
yeah, I I went through some of their clips since I'm trying to I guess kind of do a special edition for the holiday special by just editing it a little different.
Okay.
Um, I looked at some of the different. Oh, that's got sound. I looked at some of the other live action Star Wars things to kind of like maybe if I could use like an X-wing battle or something with the Falcon, um, and it's pretty interesting. That like, I mean, it's even at that time where they did a lot of live action cutscenes, like with the what was it with Kyle Katarn?
Yeah, Jedi Knight.
Yes, yeah,
That was awesome. That was like those live action cutscenes are so unexpected and so good.
yeah.
It's like watching a movie.
Oh yeah. Like I kind of wish if they had done movies with the expanded universe, it would be kind of neat to see if they brought uh, the actor who played Kyle Katarn into the movies. That would be interesting.
I mean, they pretty much have to if they had done the back. I mean, now he's probably super old, but
Let's
back
see.
in the '90s when they made the game, they'd pretty much have to.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's too bad. Missed opportunities.
yeah. Let's see. How old is he now? Was Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight?
Yeah, that's the one.
At the school I work at, I'm in an advisory class. Um, I work with some of the special ed students in the school, but I'll take them into like some regular ed classes.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a student about just Star Wars games. And okay, Kyle Katarn, say the actor, but we just like deep dived on Wikipedia.
Oh yeah, man. It's so fun to do stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
And you learn all this behind the scenes stuff.
like my mind's just blown about this about the clone of Darth Vader from
Oh,
uh, from the Galaxy of Fear series.
yeah, that's
Did you
right.
read that?
I haven't gotten to that one yet, but I have. Last October, I went on a hunt for all of them, and I got all of them. So, but I'm very familiar with that clone of Darth Vader thing because it was kind of like a big thing in the EU because Tom Veitch wanted to do a clone of Darth Vader, I believe, for Dark Empire originally, and Lucy Wilson or Lucasfilm said no, you can't do that. So
Hmm.
that's how he ended up with a clone of Palpatine.
I knew that he wanted to have an imposter in the Darth Vader suit.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Maybe it was an imposter then, not a clone. But I know he wanted to like bring back like the Vader suit essentially, and they said you can't do that.
Hmm.
But I guess Galaxy of Fear got away with it because it was during the original trilogy era.
Yes, and he was killed by Darth Vader. I think.
Right.
As I think I just read the wiki. Like it's only like 2 paragraphs. But okay, so the guy who plays Kyle Katarn is Jason Court. Let me do some math real quick. He was born in the 60s.
Damn. So he's probably in his 60s.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's 60. Which, how old is Mark Hamill? He's got to And oh, he's 71.
Hamill's 71.
Yes.
Wow, I didn't realize he was that old.
He was born in 51.
He looks good for his age.
He does.
Man, it's crazy to think. Like, I think Carrie Fisher was the youngest out of all of them, and she's the first one to go.
Yeah. Let's see. She would have been. I think she was in her 60s.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so yeah, she was 60 when she died.
And that was how many years ago now? That was like 3-4 years ago, or is it longer? No, it must have been longer.
That
Because it was before Rise of Skywalker that she passed, so it would have been like
7 years ago.
Where does the time go? I remember so she died in what, 2016?
Yes.
I remember when she
still in high school.
Like I remember it like it was yesterday. Where does the time go?
Right. I remember I think I was like riding a workout bike, and I just had saw it, and I was like, oh man. And so then I played her theme from the original Star Wars.
Yeah.
Princess theme or Princess Leia theme, or however they labeled it. But
yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah. And I was like, oh no, my people that I've looked up to are, they're human. And
that's right. Yeah. Everybody has an expiry date. It sucks, but it's true. And
I didn't know, but I saw a movie whenever I was a kid with Debbie Reynolds in it, and she died shortly after.
Yeah. I remember 2016 was a rough year for celebrity deaths. That was the year that David Bowie died as well.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
There were a few other notable ones in 2016.
Was that Gene Wilder died that day? Or not day.
That year?
That year, yes.
Yeah. He was Willy Wonka, right?
Yes, he was. He was also in some other movies, like I think Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles.
He was in this Woody Allen movie that I saw a while ago.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to repeat the name of it because it's a long title.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember he was in that too. And it was so weird and surreal to see him in that role because he plays like Willy Wonka, and then you see him in like something completely different.
Oh yeah. Whenever I think I had seen like a clip of him in Frankenstein. Yeah. And I was just like so taken back because as a kid, I was like, what? That's Willy Wonka. That's the only person he can ever be. But
yeah. Speaking of typecast actors, how did you feel about Robert Pattinson being a Batman?
Okay, so at first I of course made all of the jokes. I saw it was in the Lego movie.
It
was in the second one. They had sparkly Batman, and I was like, of course, this is where it's going. But I really liked him as Batman. I think he has a lot more to develop into, but
I think that was the big criticism for that movie, was that like his Batman was pretty good, but like his Bruce Wayne was lacking in that movie, and they didn't really focus on Bruce Wayne in the movie at all.
For sure.
So, I understand that movie actually took me 2 days to get through because it was so long.
Really?
I can't do long movies anymore.
Oh man.
Anything over like 3 hours, I'm toast.
I'm kind of getting spoiled with like kids movies because my fiance has a daughter and she's 7, and so we're watching these kids movies that are hour and 45 minutes, and it's like, oh man, great, done. Like the How to Train Your Dragon, the Minions movies.
For sure, man.
And then I show them The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, and they're just like, oh. And I don't just go the theatrical cut. I go the full 4-hour expanded cut, and we're just at the end. We're just like, oh man, that's a lot.
Yeah, I remember I was at a buddy's cottage for a week, and one of the days it rained because we were going to go out on the lake, and we couldn't because it was like thundering. And so we're like, okay, let's, you know what? It's raining all day. Let's just do like a Lord of the Rings marathon, but we'll do the expanded versions.
Oh
And by the time we got through Fellowship of the Ring, it was already like 2 in the afternoon, and we were exhausted. And we're like, no, I think we'll go do something else now.
yeah. I really like the extended cuts, except for what is it, Return of the King. There were some added scenes in that I was like just very upset with, and those were the changes from the books.
Yeah. And you know,
Because
that's the film I think that I'm least familiar with of the three because I've seen Fellowship so many times.
I think
Um,
Fellowship might be the best one.
I agree. It's definitely my favorite, but I've seen it so many times because I always embark on this journey of wanting to watch these films.
Yeah,
And then by the time I get to the third one, I'm just so done with Lord of the Rings for a while.
yeah,
I don't have the attention span that I used to.
yeah. Um, I've recently we started watching The Hobbit. We watched Unexpected Journey, not
Yeah.
the extended cut. I haven't dived into those yet, but we started that, and I enjoyed it. The Hobbit I have a love hate relationship with.
Yeah.
I saw the last one in the theater, and then I was like, okay, I'm probably not gonna watch that again for a while, and I
I
haven't watched it since.
yeah, I confess I've never seen the Hobbit films. I think I've seen most of the first one, but I haven't seen the other two.
There,
Um,
as I dive more into Tolkien, I start to respect them more, kind of,
fair. Yeah.
because they and the director as well, because he adds a lot of stuff into it. Like the audiobook for The Hobbit is shorter than all the movies runtime.
Yeah, I read it to my daughter recently. It took a while because we read like 5 pages a night, but like if I was reading it on my own, I probably would have finished in like 2 sittings.
Yeah, I tried to read it to Peyton, but kept getting tripped up on the like just the way he words things, and I
Yeah,
liked it better as an audio.
for
Uh,
sure.
so something that I did was I just would read up on the chapter, and then I would kind of act it out for her, and she found a lot of amusement in that.
Yeah. Yeah, my 4-year-old at the time, I mean she's almost 5 now, but like she could not understand half the things that were going on. But the dialogue, she would usually understand what they were saying to one another. But when Tolkien goes into those big descriptions about, you know, what a certain setting looks like, I could see her eyes glaze over and she would just lose the plot at that point.
Oh, it was. I think it was at the point when they were explaining Good Mornings, which
Right.
uh, which Ian McAllen
McDermott.
McDermott. Wait, I thought is McDermott he's the
No, that's Palpatine.
yeah
Ian, God,
Ian
Ian,
McAllen.
yeah, McKellen. I think that's
McKellen.
his name. Yeah.
He did a wonderful performance of that with Martin Freeman. I felt like it just felt very like Gandalf was very, I'm up to something. Um, and you could kind of read like if you've seen Lord of the Rings, because that's kind of how the Hobbit movies are presented. They're presented as okay, you just saw Lord of the Rings. Now look at Bilbo's backstory, where of course the Hobbit was written as here's a story, and then Lord of the Rings was the sequel. So
Right.
it's kind of odd if you watched it in chronological order. But
I would like to go like sit down and watch them one day. I fear that I'm gonna fall into the same trap that I do with Lord of the Rings, that by the time I get to the third film, I'm gonna be exhausted.
yeah. So my fiance, she she likes almost everything I show her. I'll be like, "Hey, there's this movie from my childhood or this thing that I watched whenever I was a teenager." And she'll watch it and just eat it up. Like we watched the Terminator movies, the Alien movies. We watched the majority of the MCU, the
That's
DC
awesome.
movies. Um, but sorry, I got a text message. But I showed her Lord of the Rings, and she just kind of like it was just too much for her.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of weird names and stuff like that too. If you have no grounding in the source material, it could be a lot.
Yeah.
I think they did the best that they could in terms of making it appealable to the the
Yeah.
most amount of people. But it's I had read the books before watching those films, like years before, and so at least I had a basic understanding of what the story was and who the main players were. I can't imagine going into a film, even a film that's designed to be a bit more mainstream like that, and is mainstream, like it's very popular. But like say Fellowship, for instance, and then they're talking about all these Elrond and Galadriel, and I would probably be a little lost too. I think if I didn't have that background.
Yeah. Well, I saw it. I think I was about 7 or 8, and it kind of, I think it grew on me because it was like, okay, here's this cool stuff.
Right.
And then as I've gotten older, I've started to put the pieces together. Like there's so many references to just his other Tolkien's other material. Like in The Hobbit, they have Gandalf and the company find the elven swords. And he goes, well, they were forged in Gondolin. And I'm like, I know that place. I
Right.
know about that from, well, the fall of Gondolin and the elves and those different things. And so I guess having it kind of just wash by me as a child and going, oh, yes, of course that's how it works. Of course, this so and so's king of so and so in this.
Right. You
But
take it
then,
on faith.
yeah, you just kind of go with it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, the ring is ultimate evil. That's kind of don't need to know how, the forging of the rings worked. It's just like, oh, that's all you need to know. Smeagol's bad because the ring is bad, but
Have you read the Silmarillion?
oh, that is, I've read some of it. Have you?
Yeah, so I was struggling reading it back in the day, but ironically I found, because usually it's the opposite, I found listening to the audiobook really helped
Yes.
digest it for me, and it's usually the opposite. It's like I have a difficult time paying attention to audiobooks and my mind kind of wanders, but I guess it was kind of right place, right time, and just hearing it verbally, someone telling me the story, it was so much easier to understand what was going on. And I found that was an easier way to digest the story. So if you're having trouble, I mean, like try that out and see if it works. It might not, but it
I
did for me.
actually, so I started with the audiobook
Oh, okay.
and it was just kind of a lot at once.
Yeah.
And then I stopped and then I started again. And then I was just like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. Back forth, like kind of trying to get back on it. And then what's their podcast called? It's called An Unexpected Podcast. It's
Oh,
on
nice.
Spotify.
Yeah.
And they go chapter by chapter through The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, and now they're kind of going chapter by chapter for the Silmarillion. And I've listened to them, and it kind of helps me digest it a bit more. Let's see, I've got it on my phone. What have I read? So there's like the so many words, hard to pronounce, but the like kind of prologue, the creation,
Right.
the beginning of days.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I don't know how to pronounce that word either.
Yeah. But there's there's a few other chapters that I kind of went through, and I have read The Children of Hurin.
Yes.
Um, I haven't completed it. It started to drag, and the audiobook is done by Christopher Lee, and so it feels like Saruman is reading it to me.
That's so cool.
And he has such a soothing voice. The problem is that I could easily fall asleep.
Yeah. I
Not
try
that
and I try not to listen to audiobooks at night because the same thing will happen to me. I try and do it while I'm being active, like walking or commuting or something like that. So at least I'm in motion and I'm moving and I'm not necessarily just sedentary. But the issue with that, I guess, is that I get easily distracted by my external environment. So it's hard to pay attention.
yeah. I've been going through the X-Wing books. They had the unabridged audiobooks for
Yeah,
them.
they do for the first four, the Mark
Yes.
Thompson ones. Yeah, they're
Uh,
I thought they were pretty good actually.
I'm on Wedge's Gamble right now.
Okay, I really, really enjoyed. I listened to Wedge's Gamble. I don't think I listened to the Krytos Trap one, but I did listen to Back to War, and I thought that was fantastic.
Okay. I actually, so I think I had like a PDF reader read the first two to me.
Yeah,
That was hard to retain. But I think I started kind of a reread of Wedge's Gamble, because I think it was OG Star Wars that posted like a little clip of whenever they go into the Imperial Museum.
right.
And that was just like, oh, that's like they've got the sound effects, they've got Darth Vader, they've got the like Anakin's Dark Deeds theme playing, and I was like, oh, I have to hear this in its entirety, and so I played it, and then I just kept listening, and
Yeah,
I've got about 2 hours left, um,
yeah.
but yeah,
I know they're good.
I've been having trouble getting into the like staying focused on audiobooks, um, because some of the stuff that I really want to read, they don't have good unabridged audiobooks for. Like I'm reading through the New Jedi Order.
I know it's such a shame.
Yeah. So I found a few unabridged versions of it because they're floating around in the internet. Um, but
Yeah,
it's
they have the hearing impaired ones, the Library of Congress ones. I forget what they're called, but they're for the hearing impaired, and
right.
those are unabridged.
Yes. And I think the copies that I found were those ones. But and then there were some other ones where they just took the PDF and threw it in and so it sounds like Siri's reading it or Google or whatever.
Yeah, see, I just can't abide that AI stuff at all. That's
Yeah.
why I just, as someone who wants to narrate and get into narration and stuff like that and audio narrate, I think AI is, you know, not the greatest thing ever. It doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate like the Mark Thompson, and Jonathan Davis and the other guys who do all that work. I think that's just so much better.
Oh yeah. And I feel like they would just print more money if they made more of the audiobooks. Um
I agree. I don't know why they stopped doing them. Hey,
yeah.
Brennan.
Oh hey Brendan. We're we're doing pretty good.
Yep. I actually have to move locations if you want to keep talking for a few minutes because
I actually have to get going.
oh, okay. Well,
We
there
gotta
you go.
gotta start dinner. So
Yeah, makes sense.
thanks for hopping on.
No, for sure. Thanks for having me. And
Yeah.
hopefully next time I'll be able to come in a little earlier. It's
Oh
just
yeah,
sometimes I don't work, so it's a little hard to join.
I got you.
Yeah.
What time do you usually like is your free
Oh,
time?
well, I mean, it's like usually like a 9 to 5 type of thing, but then, after 5, it's like with the kids and stuff. So,
Oh yeah, totally understand that. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for joining me, and
no
then
worries.
thank you for everyone that has been watching. I know I don't get a whole lot of viewers on this, but it's usually afterwards. Um, when people start like they rewatch it and stuff. But anyway, thank you everyone. I hope everyone has a great evening.
All right, take care, Brady.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, Quinlan.